Listen up, y'all. There's this 17-year-old girl sitting in a courtroom, and man, she's smiling. Not a nervous smile, not an I'm scared out of my mind smile. Nah, this girl is straight up grinning like somebody just asked her to homecoming. Look at that close-up of her face. There's this smug little smirk on her lips. She's whispering to her lawyer, giggling, playing with her hair, acting like this whole murder trial is just another Tuesday afternoon. Murder trial, let those words sink in. The judge is walking in, the bailiff standing at attention, and that's when they bring out the laptop. The screen goes black. See, what this teenage girl didn't know, what she couldn't have possibly known, is that everything she did that night was recorded. Every single thing. You can see people in the courtroom reacting, gasping. There's this sharp musical sting, then complete silence. And when that video started playing, man, her smile vanished so fast, y'all would have thought someone hit pause on her whole damn life. This is the story of a girl who thought she was untouchable. A girl who murdered her best friend and then went on social media to play the grieving BFF like she deserved an Oscar. This is the story of Madison Riley Chen. And folks, this one's gonna mess you up real bad. Welcome to Women of Crime. I'm your host, and today we're diving deep into one of the most disturbing cases of teenage violence in recent history. A case where the evidence was so overwhelming, so undeniable, that even the defendant's own mother couldn't defend her sorry ass. But before we dive into this absolute train wreck of a case, let's talk about something way more pleasant for a hot minute. Look, covering cases like this takes a toll on your mental health. I'm not gonna lie. And honestly, taking care of your head is crucial when you're deep in true crime content all day, every day. That's why I'm pumped to partner with today's sponsor, BetterHelp. BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service, and it's 100% online. Whether you're dealing with stress, anxiety, or just need somebody to talk to about the heavy stuff we cover on this channel, BetterHelp matches you with a licensed therapist who actually gets it. You can message your therapist anytime, like literally anytime, and schedule live sessions when it works for your schedule. No sitting in waiting rooms, no awkward parking lot run-ins with people you know. Just real professional help from the comfort of your own home. And here's the thing, y'all, therapy ain't just for when everything's falling apart at the seams. It's about having the right tools to deal with life's craziness before you hit that breaking point. Women of Crime listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/womenofcrime. That's betterhelp.com/womenofcrime. All right, now let's get back to Madison, and trust me, after you hear this story, you might want to take them up on that offer. I'm dead serious. Madison Riley Chen wasn't born a killer. I know, that sounds pretty obvious, right? But hear me out for a second, because understanding how a seemingly normal teenage girl becomes capable of cold-blooded murder, that's what makes this case so absolutely terrifying. Madison was born on June 14, 2006, in Riverside County, California. Upper middle-class neighborhood, two-parent household. Her dad, Robert Chen, was a software engineer. Her mom, Patricia Riley Chen, worked as a pharmaceutical sales rep making pretty good money. On paper, perfect family, white picket fence and all that American dream stuff. But y'all, looks can be hella deceiving. Here's the thing about Madison, and this is according to court documents, family interviews, and her own social media history. This girl craved attention like other people crave oxygen. Like, she needed it to survive. From the time she was 12 years old, Madison was all about that online persona. Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, girl was on everything. And not just posting casually, nah, we're talking multiple posts a day. Selfies with the same outfit from like 17 different angles. Thirst traps that had adults in the comments like, aren't you literally in middle school? Her teachers described her as attention-seeking and disruptive as hell. One middle school counselor wrote in her file, and this is a direct quote, Madison appears unable to function without being the center of attention, becomes agitated and acts out when ignored. Red flag alert, folks. Huge red flag waving right there. But it gets way worse. Because Madison didn't just want attention from anyone. She wanted attention from everyone, boys, girls, teachers, random strangers online. Didn't matter who. And when she didn't get it, that's when things got real ugly real fast. According to her former friends, and yeah, there's a whole lot of former friends in Madison's orbit, this girl would straight up sabotage relationships if she felt even slightly left out. Like imagine you're hanging out with your bestie, right? Just a chill Tuesday, watching Netflix, eating pizza, doing normal teenage stuff. But if Madison found out she wasn't invited, oh boy, all hell would break loose. She'd blow up your phone with like 50 texts. She'd post cryptic stuff on social media like snakes everywhere. Gotta watch who you trust with a snake emoji and everything. Girl was messy with a capital M. Drama followed her like a shadow. But here's what makes Madison different from your run-of-the-mill drama queen teenager. Most kids, they grow out of this stuff eventually, right? They mature a little. They realize the world doesn't revolve around them and their feelings. Madison got worse. Way worse. By freshman year of high school, Madison had burned through so many friend groups that she was basically starting from scratch. Nobody wanted to deal with her drama anymore. And that's when she met Sophia Martinez. Sophia. Oh man, Sophia. This part hurts to talk about. Sophia Martinez was everything Madison pretended to be online. Popular but genuinely kind to everyone. Pretty but humble about it, didn't rub it in people's faces. Smart like honors student AP classes, college prep smart. She was a cheerleader, volunteered at a dog shelter on weekends, and had this energy that just made people naturally like her. You know what I mean. And when Sophia befriended Madison during freshman orientation, Madison latched on like a barnacle on a boat, like super glue. At first, it seemed pretty sweet, honestly. Like, aw, look at Sophia being nice to the new girl who doesn't have friends. But folks who knew Madison from middle school, they saw it for what it really was from day one. One of their classmates, Emma Rodriguez, later testified in court that Madison became obsessed with Sophia basically overnight. Like, instant obsession. And I don't mean like, oh, we're besties and we hang out all the time obsessed. I mean like obsessed. Stalker level obsessed. Madison started dressing exactly like Sophia. She'd show up to school wearing outfits almost identical to what Sophia wore the day before. She copied Sophia's hairstyles down to the smallest detail. Started using the same slang phrases Sophia used. Even changed her Starbucks order to match Sophia's usual drink. Now, if you're thinking, that's weird but not necessarily dangerous, you're right to a point. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery and all that. Teenage girls copy each other all the time, it's pretty normal. But here's where it gets straight up creepy, y'all. Madison started tracking Sophia's location obsessively. She'd set up alerts on Snapchat so she'd know every single time Sophia was online. She'd drive by Sophia's house at random times, sometimes late at night. She even got a part-time job at the same Jamba Juice where Sophia worked, without telling Sophia she'd even applied for the job. Sophia's mom, Maria Martinez, later told investigators that Madison would sometimes just show up at their house, uninvited, unannounced, out of nowhere. Like the family would be sitting down having dinner, and boom, doorbell rings, it's Madison with some lame excuse about being in the neighborhood, even though she lived 45 freaking minutes away. 45 minutes, y'all. That ain't in the neighborhood. That's stalking. But Sophia, bless her heart, was too nice to set hard boundaries. She'd make excuses for Madison's creepy behavior. She's just going through a tough time. She's lonely and doesn't have other friends. She doesn't mean to be so clingy. Except Madison did mean it. Every bit of it. Because for Madison, Sophia wasn't just a friend or even a best friend. Sophia was an obsession. A full-blown, unhealthy obsession. Investigators later found Madison's journal. We'll get way more into that later, but even back in sophomore year, Madison was writing some seriously disturbing stuff like, "Sophia is my whole world. I don't know what I'd do without her. Sometimes I think about what it would be like if she just disappeared and it was only me people remembered. If I could just be her, everything would be perfect. Let that sink in for a minute, folks. Just sit with how messed up that is. By junior year, Sophia started pulling away, and honestly, can you blame her? Not dramatically, not meanly, but just creating healthy distance like any normal person would. She joined clubs Madison wasn't in, made friends Madison didn't know, started dating a guy named Tyler Morrison who was on the football team. And that's when Madison's mask started slipping off. That's when things got really bad. The text messages got weird as hell. Possessive. Guilt-trippy in the worst way. Madison would text, "I saw you with Tyler again. I thought we were hanging out after school." Sophia would respond, "Maddie, I never said that. I told you yesterday I had plans." Madison would fire back, "Yeah, plans without me apparently. Guess I know where I stand now." Sophia would try to reason with her, "You're being dramatic again." And Madison would say, "I'm being dramatic. I'm the only one who's actually been there for you through everything. But okay, have fun with your new life." And when Sophia didn't immediately respond within like 2 minutes, Madison would send 30 more messages. Then she'd show up at Sophia's house uninvited. Then she'd post sad song lyrics on her Instagram story for attention. The cycle was absolutely exhausting, y'all. Just draining for everyone involved. In March of their junior year, Madison got called to the principal's office because she'd been caught taking photos of Sophia in the locker room without her permission. Just straight up creeping on her. Her excuse: "We take pictures together all the time, what's the big deal?" She got a 3-day suspension. And Sophia finally did what she should have done months and months earlier. She ended the friendship, cut Madison off completely. On April 3rd, 2024, Sophia sent Madison a long text message. It was kind but firm as hell. Basically said, "I care about you as a person, but this friendship isn't healthy anymore. I need space. Please respect that." Madison's response came quick, "You're going to regret this." At the time, Sophia thought it was just more drama. Empty threats from a girl who didn't know how to let go and move on. She had absolutely no idea how deadly serious Madison was, because 63 days later, Sophia Martinez would be dead. June 5th, 2024. A Wednesday. Summer had just started. School had just let out for summer break 2 days earlier. Sophia Martinez should have been celebrating. Should have been at the beach with friends, making summer plans, living her absolute best life. Instead, she'd be dead before midnight hit. Let's walk through this day minute by minute because y'all, the devil's in the details. Every single detail matters. And Madison left a whole lot of details behind. Like a ridiculous amount. 8:47 in the morning, Sophia wakes up, posts an Instagram story of her coffee cup with the caption, "First day of summer done right," with a sun emoji and coffee emoji. Normal, carefree. A girl with her whole life stretched out ahead of her, full of possibilities. Meanwhile, 45 minutes away across town, Madison is already awake, already planning every detail. See what investigators later discovered, and this is absolutely crucial to understanding this case, is that Madison had been researching some pretty disturbing stuff on her phone. We're talking, how long does it take for someone to bleed out? Where to hide a body in California? Do security cameras work in the dark? How to permanently delete text messages? And here's the kicker that'll blow your mind. She searched all of this while sitting in her AP psychology class during the final exam. 3 days before Sophia's murder. 3 freaking days. 11:23 in the morning, Madison texts Sophia for the first time in over 2 months. First contact after that final, "You're going to regret this" message. Madison writes, "Hey Soph, I know things have been weird between us, but I've been doing a lot of thinking this summer. I was totally out of line and I want to apologize properly. Can we meet up? I promise no drama, I just want closure so we can both move on with our lives." Now, if you're Sophia reading this text, it sounds pretty reasonable, right? Mature, even. Like Madison finally grew up. An olive branch extended. Sophia almost doesn't respond. She actually talks to her mom about it over lunch, asking for advice. Maria Martinez later testified in court. I told her she didn't owe Madison anything. Not a damn thing. But Sophia said, Mom, if talking to her one more time means she'll finally leave me alone and move on, it's worth it. She had such a good heart. She really did. The kindest heart. 2:34 in the afternoon, Sophia texts back after thinking about it all day. Okay, but somewhere public. How about the Starbucks on Main Street? 7 p.m. Madison's response is instant, like within seconds. Perfect. Thank you so much. This means everything to me. See you there, with a red heart emoji. Except Madison had absolutely no intention of meeting at that Starbucks. None whatsoever. Between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m., Madison prepares for what's coming. And folks, when I say prepares, I don't mean she picked out a cute outfit and practiced what she was gonna say in the mirror. Nah, nothing like that. According to the forensic evidence later collected from her bedroom, Madison gathered a hunting knife from her dad's camping gear in the garage, a tarp from the shed, bleach, rubber gloves and heavy-duty trash bags, a complete change of clothes, a flashlight with fresh batteries. She packed all of this stuff in her car, in a black duffel bag, hidden under a blanket in the trunk where nobody would see it. And then, get this, I'm not even kidding, she took a selfie, posted it on her Instagram story with the caption, "Summer nights hit different," with a moon emoji and sparkles emoji. Girl was really out here posting thirst traps and duck face selfies while loading literal murder supplies into her Honda Civic. Y'all, the audacity, the absolute audacity of this girl. 6:45 in the evening, Sophia leaves her house, tells her mom she'll be back by 8:39 at the latest, gives her a hug, waves goodbye with a smile. Maria Martinez would never ever see her daughter alive again. That was the last time. 6:52, Sophia arrives at the Starbucks on Main Street right on time. She parks, checks her phone. Madison hasn't shown up yet. Running late as usual, she sends a text. I'm here, you close. Madison responds quick. Running a few minutes late, sorry. Actually, can we meet at Riverside Park instead? Starbucks is super packed and loud and I really want to talk privately, you know. The picnic area near the tennis courts. Sophia hesitates. You can see her thinking about it. The park is more isolated than a busy Starbucks. But it's still early, still light outside. There are usually joggers and families around at this time. She texts back, okay, be there in 10. That text message would be Sophia's biggest mistake, the decision that cost her everything. 7:03 p.m., Sophia arrives at Riverside Park. She drives to the back parking lot near the tennis courts like Madison said. And here's the thing, y'all, it's June in Southern California. The sun's still up. It's still light outside. There are people around everywhere. A guy walking his dog. Some teenagers playing basketball on the courts. A couple having a picnic on the grass. This ain't some abandoned, creepy location from a horror movie. This is a public park in broad daylight, in a nice neighborhood, which makes what happens next even more unbelievable, even more shocking. And when Sophia didn't immediately respond within like 2 minutes, Madison would send 30 more messages. Then she'd show up at Sophia's house uninvited. Then she'd post sad song lyrics on her Instagram story for attention. The cycle was absolutely exhausting, y'all. Just draining for everyone involved. In March of their junior year, Madison got called to the principal's office because she'd been caught taking photos of Sophia in the locker room without her permission. Just straight up creeping on her. Her excuse, we take pictures together all the time, what's the big deal? She got a 3-day suspension. And Sophia finally did what she should have done months and months earlier. She ended the friendship, cut Madison off completely. On April 3, 2024, Sophia sent Madison a long text message. It was kind but firm as hell. Basically said, I care about you as a person, but this friendship isn't healthy anymore. I need space. Please respect that. Madison's response came quick. You're going to regret this. At the time, Sophia thought it was just more drama, Empty threats from a girl who didn't know how to let go and move on. She had absolutely no idea how deadly serious Madison was, because 63 days later, Sophia Martinez would be dead. June 5th, 2024, a Wednesday. Summer had just started. School had just let out for summer break 2 days earlier. Sophia Martinez should have been celebrating, should have been at the beach with friends making summer plans, living her absolute best life. Instead, she'd be dead before midnight hit. Let's walk through this day minute by minute because y'all, the devil's in the details. Every single detail matters. And Madison left a whole lot of details behind, like a ridiculous amount. 11:23 in the morning, Madison texts Sophia for the first time in over 2 months. First contact after that final, "You're going to regret this" message. Madison writes, "Hey Soph, I know things have been weird between us, but I've been doing a lot of thinking this summer. I was totally out of line and I want to apologize properly. Can we meet up? I promise no drama, I just want closure so we can both move on with our lives." Now, if you're Sophia reading this text, it sounds pretty reasonable, right? Mature, even. Like Madison finally grew up. An olive branch extended. Sophia almost doesn't respond. She actually talks to her mom about it over lunch, asking for advice. Maria Martinez later testified in court. "I told her she didn't owe Madison anything. Not a damn thing. But Sophia said, 'Mom, if talking to her one more time means she'll finally leave me alone and move on, it's worth it.' She had such a good heart. She really did. The kindest heart." 2:34 in the afternoon, Sophia texts back after thinking about it all day. "Okay, but somewhere public. How about the Starbucks on Main Street? 7 p.m. Madison's response is instant, like within seconds. "Perfect. Thank you so much. This means everything to me. See you there," with a red heart emoji. Except Madison had absolutely no intention of meeting at that Starbucks. None whatsoever. Between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m., Madison prepares for what's coming. And folks, when I say prepares, I don't mean she picked out a cute outfit and practiced what she was gonna say in the mirror. Nah, nothing like that. According to the forensic evidence later collected from her bedroom, Madison gathered a hunting knife from her dad's camping gear in the garage, a tarp from the shed, bleach, rubber gloves and heavy-duty trash bags, a complete change of clothes, a flashlight with fresh batteries. She packed all of this stuff in her car, in a black duffel bag, hidden under a blanket in the trunk where nobody would see it. And then, get this, I'm not even kidding, she took a selfie, posted it on her Instagram story with the caption, "Summer nights hit different," with a moon emoji and sparkles emoji. Girl was really out here posting thirst traps and duck face selfies while loading literal murder supplies into her Honda Civic. Y'all, the audacity, the absolute audacity of this girl. 6:45 in the evening, Sophia leaves her house, tells her mom she'll be back by 8:39 at the latest, gives her a hug, waves goodbye with a smile. Maria Martinez would never ever see her daughter alive again. That was the last time. 6:52, Sophia arrives at the Starbucks on Main Street right on time. She parks, checks her phone. Madison hasn't shown up yet. Running late as usual, she sends a text. "I'm here, you close." Madison responds quick. "Running a few mins late, sorry. Actually, can we meet at Riverside Park instead? Starbucks is super packed and loud and I really want to talk privately, you know. The picnic area near the tennis courts." Sophia hesitates. You can see her thinking about it. The park is more isolated than a busy Starbucks. But it's still early, still light outside. There are usually joggers and families around at this time. She texts back, "Okay, be there in 10. That text message would be Sophia's biggest mistake, the decision that cost her everything. 7:03 p.m., Sophia arrives at Riverside Park. She drives to the back parking lot near the tennis courts like Madison said. And here's the thing, y'all, it's June in Southern California. The sun's still up. It's still light outside. There are people around everywhere. A guy walking his dog. Some teenagers playing basketball on the courts. A couple having a picnic on the grass. This ain't some abandoned, creepy location from a horror movie. This is a public park in broad daylight, in a nice neighborhood, which makes what happens next even more unbelievable, even more shocking. 7:07, Madison's car pulls into the parking lot. She parks right next to Sophia's car. And thank God for security cameras, because this whole section of the park is monitored. The tennis courts have cameras to prevent vandalism and theft. And those cameras, they caught everything. Every single thing that happened. Madison gets out of her car slowly. She's wearing a gray hoodie despite it being 78 degrees outside. She's carrying a small backpack on one shoulder. She walks up to Sophia's passenger window calmly, knocks on the glass. Sophia rolls down the window. They talk for maybe 30 seconds. The footage doesn't have audio. From their body language, it looks casual enough. Sophia's even smiling a little bit, trying to be friendly. Then Madison asks if she can sit in the car. "It's easier to talk face to face," she supposedly said, according to lip readers the prosecution hired later. Sophia unlocks the doors. Madison walks around to the passenger side, gets in, closes the door, and for 4 minutes and 18 seconds nothing visible happens on the camera. They're just sitting in the car together, talking. The windows are rolled up now so nobody can hear. The camera can't pick up audio or see clearly inside. From the outside looking in, it looks like two friends having a normal conversation, working things out. Then, at 7:11 p.m. and 26 seconds, the car starts shaking and rocking slightly. The car starts moving, rocking violently, really, like something aggressive and violent is happening inside that nobody can see. It lasts for 47 seconds of pure struggle. 47 seconds. That's how long Sophia fought for her life. Then Madison gets out fast, stumbling almost, nearly falling. She looks around frantically, checking if anyone's watching her, if anyone saw what just happened. She runs to her own car with quick steps, opens the trunk, grabs something. The footage isn't clear enough to see exactly what, but investigators believe it was towels or the tarp she'd brought. She goes back to Sophia's car, opens the back door, leans inside for a long time. For 3 long minutes she's in and out of that car, moving frantically, cleaning, adjusting, panicking. Then she makes a decision, a calculated choice. She gets into Sophia's car, into the driver's seat, and she just drives away like nothing happened, with Sophia's body in the back seat, covered with the tarp. Y'all, this girl really thought she was gonna get away with this. She genuinely believed she was smart enough. Investigators later tracked Sophia's car through multiple traffic cameras all over the city. Madison drove for 19 minutes, heading toward a more remote area on the outskirts of Riverside County. She ended up at a construction site, abandoned for the night. No workers, no cameras anywhere, no witnesses around. What happened next at that construction site, we only know because Madison herself eventually confessed some details. And because the forensic evidence painted the picture her words tried desperately to blur and hide. This is where it gets really, really hard to talk about, folks. I'm not gonna lie. According to the forensic pathologist's detailed report, Sophia had been stabbed multiple times. 14 wounds total across her body. 14 separate stab wounds. The medical examiner determined that at least 3 of those wounds were inflicted while Sophia was still alive, still conscious, still aware of what was happening to her. The official cause of death was determined to be exsanguination, medical term for blood loss, from a severed femoral artery in her leg and multiple defensive wounds on her hands and forearms. She fought back as hard as she could. She fought so hard to survive. But Madison had the element of complete surprise, had a weapon already in her hand, had rage that 17-year-old Sophia couldn't have possibly anticipated or prepared for. At 7:56 p.m., Madison's phone pings a cell tower near the construction site. Location data confirmed. 3 minutes later, her phone pings a completely different tower. She's already heading back into town like nothing happened. She stopped at a 24-hour car wash on the way back. Spent 45 full minutes there, vacuuming out every inch of her car, wiping down surfaces. Went through the full wash cycle 3 separate times back to back. The attendant working that night later testified in court that he thought it was super weird that this teenage girl was so thoroughly, obsessively cleaning her car at 9 p.m. on a Wednesday night. But weird behavior ain't illegal, so he didn't say anything or report it. After the car wash, Madison drove straight to an all-night Walmart that never closes. And this is where it gets absolutely wild, y'all. Like, you can't make this stuff up. Because instead of going into hiding, instead of laying low, instead of acting like someone who just committed murder, Madison went shopping. Casual shopping, like it was a normal evening. Shopping. At Walmart, after committing murder. She bought hydrogen peroxide, more heavy-duty trash bags, a new phone charger because hers was broken, and I'm not even kidding. This is in the evidence. A frappuccino from the Starbucks inside the Walmart. The cashier working that register later told police that Madison seemed totally normal and chill. Maybe a little hyper, actually. She was humming along to the store music playing overhead. This girl had blood under her fingernails. Literal forensic evidence later proved this beyond doubt, and she was humming to Taylor Swift in the checkout line at Walmart. Like, what kind of cold-blooded psychopath does that? We'll get way more into the psychology of it all later. Right now, let's focus on what happened next in this insane timeline. 10:34 p.m., Madison returns to her family home, parks in the garage so nobody sees her car. Her parents are already asleep. Both later testified they didn't hear her come in at all. She goes straight to her bedroom. And then this is gonna blow your mind. She gets on Instagram. Just scrolls and posts like normal, posts a selfie, duck lips, peace sign, the whole basic thing. Caption: feeling blessed TBH with praying hands emoji and sparkles. Life's too short to hold grudges. Forgive and forget with a red heart emoji. Forgive and forget. Those were her actual words. The post got 247 likes within an hour, 33 comments from people who had no idea, things like "you're glowing girl" and "Yas positivity queen." Nobody knew what she'd just done. Nobody suspected a damn thing. Meanwhile, Sophia Martinez was lying dead at that construction site and wouldn't be found for another 11 long hours. June 6, 2024, 6:23 in the morning. Maria Martinez wakes up like usual, makes her coffee, goes to check on Sophia, realizes with growing panic that Sophia never came home last night. She checks Sophia's room. The bed hasn't been slept in. Everything's exactly how Sophia left it. She calls Sophia's phone immediately, straight to voicemail. Dead phone. By 6:45, Maria's calling 911 in a complete panic. Her voice is shaking. Her daughter has never done this before. Never stayed out all night without calling or texting. The 911 operator tries to calm her down, tells her, "Ma'am, sometimes teenagers lose track of time. Has she been staying with her boyfriend maybe?" Maria's crying, saying, No, you don't understand. My daughter doesn't do this. She always calls, always. Something happened. Please, you have to find her." 7:15 a.m. A construction worker named James Patterson pulls into the site where he's been working. He's the foreman. Gets there early to prep before the crew arrives. He's walking toward the equipment shed when he sees it. A car. Blue Honda Accord. Parked in a weird spot, half hidden behind a dirt mound. Now, this ain't totally unusual. Sometimes trespassers use construction sites to dump trash or whatever, but something about this car gives James a bad feeling. He walks closer. The windows are tinted, but as he gets near the driver's side, he sees the blood. 7:31 a.m. James calls 911. His voice is shaking on the recording, which was later played in court. There's a body in a car. Oh God, there's so much blood. I think she's dead. She's definitely dead. Please hurry. Within 20 minutes, the scene is swarming with cops. Riverside County Sheriff's Department, homicide detectives, forensic teams. And in the backseat of that Honda Accord, Sophia Martinez, 17 years old, honor student, cheerleader, volunteer, daughter, friend. Gone. Detective Sarah Chen, no relation to Madison, different family, was the lead investigator. She'd been doing homicide for 12 years, thought she'd seen everything. She later testified that this case hit different. When I saw Sophia, she looked so young, so normal, like she could have been my daughter's friend. And the violence, the rage in those wounds, I knew immediately we were looking for someone who knew her. This was personal. The forensic team processes the scene, and y'all, they find everything. Fingerprints on the passenger door handle, on the glove compartment, on Sophia's phone, DNA under Sophia's fingernails from where she fought back, a partial bloody shoe print on the floor mat, size 7 women's Nike, fibers from a gray hoodie stuck to the seat fabric. And here's the big one, Sophia's phone itself wedged under the driver's seat. But the most crucial piece of evidence, the park's security camera footage. See, Sophia's car was registered in her name, so tracing it was easy. Within 2 hours, detectives knew the car had been at Riverside Park around 7 p.m. the previous evening. They pulled the security footage, and there she was, Madison Riley Chen, clear as day, getting into Sophia's car, leaving in Sophia's car, coming back 45 minutes later to retrieve her own vehicle. Detective Chen later said, "The moment I saw that footage, I knew we had our suspect, but I also knew I needed to move fast. Because if this girl was capable of murder, she was capable of running." 11:47 a.m., 4 hours after Sophia's body was found, Detective Chen and 3 other officers pull up to the Chen family home in an unmarked car. They knock. Patricia Riley Chen answers. She's confused, worried. "Is something wrong? Is Madison okay?" Detective Chen asks if Madison is home. "Yes, she's still asleep. She got in late last night." "Why? What's this about?" The detectives don't tell her yet. Don't want to spook anyone. They ask if they can speak to Madison. Patricia goes upstairs, knocks on Madison's bedroom door. And y'all, according to Patricia's later testimony, Madison was asleep. Like dead asleep, peaceful, not a care in the world. Madison comes downstairs, rubbing her eyes, looking confused and innocent. "What's going on?" she asks. Detective Chen introduces herself, asks Madison if she knew Sophia Martinez. Madison's response is immediate. "Oh my God, yes. Sophia's my friend. Is she okay? Did something happen?" Oscar-worthy performance, folks, I'm serious. Detective Chen says, "When's the last time you saw Sophia?" Madison pretends to think about it. It's been a while actually. We kind of had a falling out a few months ago." "Why? Is she okay? Can you tell me where you were last night between 6 p.m. and 10 p.m.? And here's where Madison made her first mistake. She hesitates, just for a second, but Detective Chen catches it. I was home. Just hanging out in my room." "Why? What's going on? You're scaring me." Detective Chen asks if anyone can verify that. "My parents, I was in my room with the door closed, but I was here." Lie number 1. Detective Chen asks Madison if she'd be willing to come down to the station to answer some more questions, just to help us piece together Sophia's last movements. Madison looks at her mom. Patricia's confused but nods. "Of course, whatever we can do to help." And get this, Madison agrees, doesn't ask for a lawyer, doesn't refuse. She actually gets in the car with the detectives and goes willingly to the police station. Why? Because she still thinks she's smarter than everyone else. Big mistake. 1:23 p.m. Riverside County Sheriff's Department. Interrogation Room 3. Madison sits across from Detective Chen and Detective Marcus Williams. They haven't told her yet that Sophia's dead. This is a technique. They want to see how much she reveals before she knows what they know. Detective Chen starts easy, casual, friendly even. "So Madison, tell us about your friendship with Sophia. You said you guys had a falling out." Madison launches into this whole story about how they used to be super close, best friends. But Sophia changed when she started dating Tyler. Got too cool for Madison. It was sad, but Madison had moved on. All the while, she's playing with her hair, doing this thing where she makes her eyes go wide and innocent. Classic manipulation tactics. Detective Williams asks, "So you haven't seen or talked to Sophia recently?" "No, not really. Not at all, not even a text." "Well, maybe. I don't really remember." "Why?" Detective Chen leans forward. "Madison, we need you to be really honest with us right now. Were you at Riverside Park last night around 7 p.m.?" Madison's whole demeanor changes. The sweet, innocent girl act cracks just a little. "I know, I told you I was home." Detective Chen opens a folder. Inside are still frames from the security footage. She slides one across the table. "This is you, Madison, at Riverside Park, getting into Sophia's car." The room goes dead silent. Madison stares at the photo. Her mouth opens, closes, opens again. And y'all, this is the moment. The moment where most people would lawyer up, would stop talking, would realize they're cooked, but not Madison. Madison starts crying, sobbing, hyperventilating even. Okay, yes, I was there, but I didn't do anything. We just talked. She was fine when I left. I swear to God she was fine." Detective Williams asks, "What did you talk about?" "Just closure stuff about our friendship. It was actually really nice. We hugged goodbye and everything. Then I left, that's it, I went home." "You went home, straight home?" "Yes, I swear." Detective Chen slides another photo across the table. This one's from the Walmart. "That's funny because this is you at Walmart at 9:47 p.m. That's almost 3 hours after you were at the park. Why'd you lie about going straight home?" And there it is. That flash of rage in her eyes, just for a second, but both detectives see it. Madison changes tactics, gets defensive. "I forgot I stopped at Walmart, so what, that's not a crime." "What did you buy at Walmart, Madison?" "I don't know, just random stuff, snacks, whatever." Detective Williams places the Walmart receipt on the table. Hydrogen peroxide, extra-large trash bags. These seem like odd purchases for someone just buying snacks. Madison's face goes pale. My mom asked me to pick stuff up, for cleaning. We were gonna clean the garage." Y'all, the lies are just spiraling now. Detective Chen lets the silence hang for a long moment. Then she says the words that make Madison's world implode. "Madison, Sophia is dead." Madison's face does something weird, like she can't decide what emotion to perform. She cycles through shock, confusion, and this is wild, relief. Like for a split second before she catches herself, there's almost a smile. Detective Chen catches it too. She later testified, "That's when I knew for absolute certain that Madison killed Sophia." Because her first instinct wasn't sadness or horror, it was satisfaction. Madison starts wailing. No, oh my God, what happened? When? How?" "She was murdered, Madison, stabbed 14 times. And her body was found in her car at a construction site. You were the last person to see her alive." No, I didn't. I would never. We just talked. She was alive. Someone else must have." Detective Williams cuts her off. "Madison, we have your fingerprints in her car. We have you on camera. We have your DNA. We know you did this." Madison stands up so fast her chair tips over. She's shaking, crying, but there's something off about it. It doesn't look like grief. It looks like frustration, like anger that her plan didn't work. "I want a lawyer. I want my parents. You can't keep me here." Detective Chen nods. "You're absolutely right. You can leave any time. You're not under arrest yet, but Madison, we're gonna find the knife. We're gonna process your car. We're gonna go through every text, every search, every digital footprint you left. And when we do, you're going down for murder." Patricia and Robert Chen arrive to pick up their daughter. They're confused, terrified, insisting there's been some mistake. Madison falls into her mother's arms, sobbing. But as they're leaving, Madison looks back at Detective Chen. And y'all, she smirks, just for a second. A tiny, arrogant little smirk that says, "You can't prove it." Detective Chen sees it, and she makes a silent promise right there. "Oh, we're gonna prove it." All right, y'all, this is where things get good, because Madison thought she was slick, thought she'd covered her tracks, thought she was dealing with small-town cops who wouldn't dig deep enough. She was so wrong. Detective Chen assembled a task force, forensics, digital crimes unit, search warrant specialists. They were gonna tear apart Madison's entire life piece by piece, and what they found, absolutely damning. June 7th, less than 48 hours after Sophia's murder. 6 a.m. SWAT team and detectives execute a search warrant at the Chen family home. Madison's parents are in shock, insisting this is insane. Their daughter would never. There must be some mistake. But Madison, she's watching from her bedroom window as they tow away her Honda Civic. And according to one of the officers who was watching her, she looked pissed. Not scared, not sad, angry. The forensic team goes over Madison's car with a literal fine-tooth comb. Luminol, UV lights, swabs, the works. And despite Madison's 3-hour cleaning marathon at the car wash, they find blood. Not much. Madison did a pretty thorough job, actually. But here's the thing about blood, folks, it gets everywhere. Into cracks, under trim pieces, places you can't reach with a vacuum and some Windex. They find Sophia's blood in the trunk carpet fibers, the door handle crevice, under the driver's seat adjustment lever, and most damning, in the rubber seal of the passenger door. DNA analysis confirms it. Sophia Martinez's blood. In Madison's car, game over, but the detectives don't stop there. They tear apart Madison's bedroom, and y'all, what they find is disturbing. First, there's the journal. Madison kept a physical diary, which in 2024 is honestly kinda rare for a teenager. Most kids just post everything online, but Madison's journal, that's where she kept her real thoughts. Entries from March 2024. I hate her. I hate her so much. She thinks she's so special. Everyone thinks she's so perfect. But I know the truth. She's nothing without me. She wouldn't even be popular if I hadn't introduced her to everyone freshman year. Entry from April 15, 2024. She dumped me. Like I'm garbage. After everything I did for her, I made her who she is. And this is how she repays me. She's going to regret this. I'll make sure of it. May 3rd. I dream about her dying sometimes, about what it would feel like. Would she cry? Would she beg? Would she finally understand how much she hurt me? May 28th, just 8 days before the murder. I've been thinking, really thinking, about how easy it would be, how no one would suspect me. We haven't talked in months, there's no obvious motive. I could make it look random, or like a robbery. I could actually do this. I think I'm going to do this. Y'all, she wrote down her murder plan. Like she was journaling about her freaking homework. Officers also find the gray hoodie Madison was wearing in the security footage, shoved in the back of her closet, inside a trash bag. Guess what they find on it when they test it? Blood spatter. High-velocity blood spatter. The kind you get from stabbing someone. The forensic analyst later testified. The spatter pattern is consistent with the wielding of a bladed weapon in close quarters, multiple arterial spray events. The subject would have been in immediate proximity to the victim during the attack. Translation. Madison was standing right there, stabbing Sophia, when Sophia's blood sprayed all over her. They also find in the garage a trash bag containing bloody rubber gloves, paper towels with blood on them, a receipt from the car wash timestamped 8:17 p.m. on June 5th, and clothing that was cut up into pieces, like someone was trying to destroy evidence. But the really damaging stuff, that comes from Madison's phone. See, Madison deleted a bunch of texts and search history. But here's what she didn't know. Deleting stuff from your phone doesn't actually delete it from existence. The Digital Crimes Unit recovered everything. The search history we mentioned before, that was just the tip of the iceberg. Madison had been researching how to avoid leaving DNA. Do bleach and ammonia remove blood permanently? Can police track your location from cell towers? How long do security cameras keep footage? Famous murders that were never solved. And here's the wildest part. She searched Sophia Martinez obituary at 11:52 p.m. on June 5th, before Sophia's body was even found, before anyone except Madison knew Sophia was dead. She searched for her victim's obituary before the victim was even reported missing. The recovered text messages tell an even darker story. Messages Madison had deleted from her end but that were still on Sophia's phone, the phone found wedged under the driver's seat. April 10th, after Sophia ended the friendship. Madison, you think you can just drop me? Like I mean nothing, Sophia. Maddie, please stop, I need space. Madison, you need to watch your back, that's what you need. Sophia, are you threatening me? Madison, take it however you want. May 2nd. Madison, I saw you and Tyler today, you looked happy. Sophia, how did you see us? Are you following me? Madison, does it matter, just know I'm watching. Sophia, this is creepy, Madison, I'm going to block you if you don't stop. Madison, go ahead, won't stop me from seeing you. Sophia actually went to her school counselor about this, showed them the messages. The counselor noted it in her file but said there wasn't much they could do since it was summer break and both students were graduating soon anyway. That inaction, it haunts everyone involved. But wait, there's more. The digital team also analyzes Madison's social media, and they find something insane. Madison had drafted but not posted an Instagram tribute to Sophia. She wrote it at 10:15 p.m. on June 5th, hours before Sophia's body was found, while Sophia was still listed as just missing. I can't believe you're gone, my beautiful best friend. I know we had our differences, but I never stopped caring about you. You were taken too soon. I hope they find whoever did this. I'll never forget you. Rest in paradise, angel, with broken heart emoji, crying emoji, and dove emoji. She had the audacity to write a memorial post before anyone knew Sophia was dead. And she probably would have posted it too, except she got paranoid and saved it as a draft instead. It gets worse. They find video drafts on her TikTok. Madison had recorded herself crying, multiple takes, trying to get the right amount of tears for when she'd have to pretend to be devastated about Sophia's death. Y'all, she rehearsed her grief, like an actress preparing for a role. One video, she's crying but then stops, checks herself in the camera and goes, "No, that's too much," and starts over. Dr. Rebecca Martinez, a forensic psychologist brought in to consult on the case, later said, this level of premeditation, combined with the performative emotional displays, indicates a profound disconnect from empathy. Madison viewed Sophia's death not as a tragedy, but as content, as a story where she was the main character. June 10th, 3 days into the investigation, a groundskeeper at Riverside Park finds something in a trash can near the tennis courts, a hunting knife, wiped clean but not clean enough. Testing reveals microscopic traces of blood in the handle grooves, Sophia's blood. A partial fingerprint on the blade, Madison's fingerprint. Fibers consistent with Madison's hoodie stuck in the handle wrap. The murder weapon. When Detective Chen gets the call about the knife, she knows it's time to make the arrest. June 11, 2024, 6:47 a.m., 6 days after Sophia Martinez was murdered. Detective Chen and 4 officers arrive at the Chen family home with an arrest warrant. They knock. Robert Chen answers, looking exhausted. He hasn't slept much since this nightmare started. Is Madison here? He nods, resigned. Like he knows what's coming. Madison comes downstairs. She's told to turn around, put her hands behind her back. Madison Riley Chen, you are under arrest for the murder of Sophia Martinez. And y'all, Madison doesn't cry, doesn't protest her innocence, doesn't say there's been a mistake. She just looks at Detective Chen with pure, undiluted hatred. Her mother is sobbing, begging. She's just a baby she couldn't have, please. But Madison, stone-faced, cold. The sweet teenage girl act is gone. As they put her in the back of the police car, Madison finally speaks. She had it coming. Just 4 words. But those 4 words told everyone everything they needed to know. Madison Riley Chen felt zero remorse. The arrest makes national news. California teen arrested for murder of former best friend. Teenage girl killed her BFF. The evidence will shock you. Madison Chen, a picture-perfect killer. The story has everything the media loves: pretty girls, suburban setting, social media drama, shocking violence. Madison's mugshot goes viral. That dead-eyed stare, that hint of a smirk. People online start analyzing everything. Her old Instagram posts, her TikToks, looking for signs of the monster hiding beneath. And honestly, the signs were always there. June 15th, Madison's arraignment. She's charged with first-degree murder with special circumstances, use of a deadly weapon, lying to law enforcement. Because California law allows it, she's being charged as an adult. The DA's office makes it clear. They're going for the maximum penalty. Madison pleads not guilty. Her lawyer, a public defender named Thomas Brennan, argues that Madison is just a confused teenager, that there's no proof of premeditation, that the evidence is circumstantial. Prosecutor Maria Delgado stands up and basically destroys that argument in 30 seconds. Your Honor, the defendant's own journal details her plan to murder the victim. She researched methods. She lured the victim to a secondary location. She brought a weapon. She disposed of evidence. She lied to police. This is premeditated murder in its most clear-cut form. The judge agrees. Madison is remanded without bail. She's considered a flight risk and a danger to the community. As she's led away, Madison scans the courtroom, looking for something: sympathy, fear, attention. She finds none of it, just disgust. Maria Martinez is in the front row, sobbing into her husband's shoulder. Their daughter is dead, and the girl who killed her is smirking. The injustice of it all is suffocating. Madison spends the next 7 months in juvenile detention, awaiting trial. And according to guards, counselors, and other inmates, she doesn't change, doesn't show remorse, doesn't cry about what she's done. She gets written up multiple times for bullying other inmates, attempting to manipulate staff, refusing to participate in therapy, bragging about her celebrity status. Yeah, you read that right. Madison legit thought being a murder defendant made her famous, like she was some kind of dark celebrity. Guards confiscate drawings she'd made. They're disturbing. Images of knives, of blood, of a figure that looks like Sophia with X's over her eyes. One drawing has text on it: famous for 15 minutes, try forever. The court orders a psychological evaluation. 3 different psychiatrists assess Madison. All 3 come to similar conclusions. Dr. Harrison James. The subject displays narcissistic personality traits, possible antisocial personality disorder, and a profound lack of empathy. She views herself as the victim in this scenario, unable to process the consequences of her actions. Dr. Linda Park. Madison exhibits superficial charm, manipulative behavior, and shallow affect. She shows no genuine remorse for the victim's death, only frustration at being caught. Dr. Kenneth Rodriguez. This is a young woman who sees other people as objects, not as individuals with their own value. Sophia Martinez was, in Madison's mind, a possession that betrayed her. The murder was Madison's way of regaining control. 3 experts. Same conclusion. Madison Riley Chen is a sociopath. The months crawl by. The prosecution builds their case. Mountains of evidence, dozens of witnesses, expert testimony. Madison's defense team tries everything. They argue she was mentally ill, evaluations say otherwise. She was abused at home, no evidence of this. Sophia bullied her first, provably false. The evidence was collected illegally, it wasn't. Every argument gets shut down. Finally, a trial date is set. January 14, 2025. The people of the state of California versus Madison Riley Chen. The trial is expected to last 4 weeks. The media attention is massive. Court TV is covering it live. Social media is exploding with opinions. Some people, a very small minority, actually defend Madison, claim she's being scapegoated. That Sophia must have done something to provoke her. These people are trash, by the way. Just putting that out there. Sophia was an innocent victim, full stop, but most people want justice. The community rallies around the Martinez family. Justice for Sophia becomes a rallying cry. And Madison thinks she's gonna walk. She actually tells her cellmate, who later testifies, "I'm gonna get off. Watch. They can't prove anything." And even if they could, I'm a teenage girl. Juries love teenage girls. The delusion is astronomical. January 14th, 2025. The day of reckoning. The courthouse is packed. People have been lining up since 5 a.m. to get a seat in the gallery. News vans from every major network. Protesters with "Justice for Sophia" signs. And inside that courthouse, Madison Riley Chen is about to face the consequences of her actions, or so everyone thinks. 9 a.m. All rise for the Honorable Judge Patricia Kwon. Judge Kwon is known for running a tight ship. No nonsense. No theatrics, just facts and law. She's also known for not going easy on defendants just because they're young. Madison enters wearing a light blue blouse and dress pants. Her hair is styled nicely. Makeup is subtle. Her lawyers clearly coached her on looking innocent and young. But y'all, that smirk. It keeps slipping through. Across the aisle, Maria Martinez sits with her husband Carlos and Sophia's younger brother Miguel. All three are wearing buttons with Sophia's face on them. Maria is holding a photo of Sophia. She hasn't let go of it since she sat down. The jury, 7 women, 5 men, ranging from age 24 to 67, is sworn in. They're about to hear testimony that will haunt them for the rest of their lives. Prosecutor Delgado begins her opening statement. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this case is about jealousy, obsession, and cold-blooded murder. Over the next few weeks, you will hear evidence that proves beyond any reasonable doubt that Madison Riley Chen meticulously planned and brutally executed the murder of 17-year-old Sophia Martinez. Sophia Martinez was a bright, kind, ambitious young woman with her whole life ahead of her. She was an honor student, a cheerleader, a volunteer, a beloved daughter and sister, and she was Madison Chen's best friend, until she wasn't. When Sophia chose to end that friendship, as was her absolute right, Madison couldn't handle it. Because Madison Chen doesn't see other people as human beings with their own autonomy. She sees them as possessions. And when Sophia had the audacity to walk away, Madison decided that if she couldn't have Sophia's friendship, no one would have Sophia at all. The evidence in this case is overwhelming. You will see security footage of Madison getting into Sophia's car. You will hear about the DNA evidence found in Madison's vehicle. You will read Madison's own words from her journal, detailing her fantasies of murder. You will see the murder weapon with Madison's fingerprints on it. You will hear about Madison's Google searches on how to commit murder and avoid detection. You will see how she lied to police, tried to destroy evidence, and showed absolutely zero remorse for taking a beautiful young life. And most importantly, you will hear from Sophia's family about the devastating impact of Madison's selfish, violent, unforgivable actions. At the end of this trial, we will ask you to return the only verdict supported by the evidence. Guilty of first-degree murder. The courtroom is silent. The weight of it all is palpable. Now it's the defense's turn. Thomas Brennan is in an impossible position. He knows his client is guilty. Everyone knows. But it's his job to defend her anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, my client Madison Chen is 17 years old. She's a child. A child who made mistakes, yes, but a child nonetheless. The prosecution wants you to see her as a monster, but I ask you to see her as what she is, a troubled teenager who needs help, not condemnation. The evidence you'll see is open to interpretation. Yes, Madison was at the park. Yes, she knew Sophia. But that doesn't make her a murderer. Correlation is not causation. The prosecution's case relies heavily on circumstantial evidence and character assassination. We will show that Madison was a confused, emotionally troubled young woman struggling with mental health issues, that she's been painted as a villain by a prosecution desperate for a conviction. Thank you. He sits down. It was weak. Everyone knows it. Even Madison looks annoyed at how weak it was. The prosecution may call its first witness. The people call Detective Sarah Chen. Detective Chen takes the stand. She's been waiting for this moment. For the next hour, Detective Chen walks the jury through the investigation. The discovery of Sophia's body, the evidence collected, the security footage. Madison's lies during interrogation. She's thorough, professional, devastating to the defense. When the security footage plays showing Madison getting into Sophia's car, then driving away in it 47 minutes later, the courtroom collectively gasps. Madison's jaw clenches. She doesn't like seeing the evidence of her crime so publicly displayed. Tough luck, girl. The defense attorney tries to poke holes. Detective, isn't it possible someone else was in that car? Can you see inside the vehicle clearly? Detective Chen doesn't miss a beat. The medical examiner determined time of death between 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. Madison Chen is on camera entering that car at 7:07 p.m. She's on camera leaving at 7:54 p.m. The driver then takes Sophia's car to a construction site where her body is later found. Unless you're suggesting someone else teleported into the vehicle, Madison Chen is our killer. Boom. Lawyered, Day 2. The forensic expert Dr. Raymond Lee testifies about the blood evidence found in Madison's car. We found Sophia Martinez's blood in multiple locations in the defendant's vehicle despite clear evidence of extensive cleaning efforts. Blood was found in the trunk, under the seat rails, and in the door seal. DNA analysis confirmed a match to the victim with a certainty of 99.9%. The photos are damning. That eerie blue glow showing blood that Madison thought she'd cleaned away. Madison is getting agitated. She's whispering furiously to her lawyer, looking pissed off. Day 3. The digital forensics expert takes the stand. This is where it gets really bad for Madison. The expert walks through every single search. How to get away with murder. Undetectable poisons. How long can you survive a stab wound? Where to dump a body. The jurors look horrified. One woman in the back row is literally shaking her head in disbelief. Then they show the journal entries, projected on huge screens for the entire courtroom to see. Madison's own words, her fantasies, her plans, her hatred. Madison starts crying, but y'all, it's so fake. Like terrible acting. She's doing that thing where she's making crying faces but there's no actual tears. Judge Kwon is watching her, and the look on the judge's face says it all. I see right through you. Day 5. This is the hardest day. Dr. Patricia Okonkwo, the medical examiner, testifies about Sophia's injuries. This part is rough, folks. I'm gonna keep it respectful but factual. Sophia Martinez sustained 14 stab wounds. 3 to the chest, 4 to the abdomen, 2 to the neck, and 5 defensive wounds on her hands and forearms. The fatal wound severed the femoral artery in her right leg. Death would have occurred within minutes due to massive blood loss. Based on the defensive wounds, Sophia was conscious and fighting for her life during the attack. Maria Martinez has to be escorted out. She's sobbing so hard she can barely breathe. The sound of a mother's grief fills the courtroom. And Madison, nothing, no emotion, no tears, no remorse. She's just sitting there like they're discussing the weather. The jurors notice. Oh, they definitely notice. Days 7 through 9 are dedicated to testimony from people who knew both girls. Emma Rodriguez, Sophia's close friend, testifies about Madison's obsessive behavior. Madison would show up everywhere Sophia was, even if she wasn't invited. She'd track Sophia's location and just appear. It was creepy. We all told Sophia to get a restraining order, but Sophia felt bad. She didn't want to ruin Madison's life. So Madison ruined Sophia's instead. Tyler Morrison, Sophia's boyfriend, testifies about threatening messages Madison sent. She told me I was going to regret stealing Sophia, said she'd make sure I paid for it. I showed the text to Sophia and we almost went to the police. But Sophia thought Madison was all talk, just drama. I wish we'd reported it. Maybe Sophia would still be alive. The kid breaks down, has to be given a moment to compose himself. And through all of this, Madison just sits there, unaffected, unmoved. Day 11. The prosecution calls their most damaging witness. Madison's former cellmate Ashley Brenner. Ashley is 19. She was in juvie for drug possession. Shared a cell with Madison for 3 months. And Madison talked. Prosecutor, Can you tell the jury what Madison said to you about Sophia's murder? Ashley, she bragged about it. Said Sophia had it coming. Said she planned the whole thing for weeks. She told me she lured Sophia to the park by pretending to apologize, but that she brought a knife just in case Sophia didn't cooperate. Prosecutor, she admitted to you that she killed Sophia, Ashley, multiple times. She said, and I quote, "The stupid bitch actually believed I wanted to be friends again. She was so easy to manipulate." The courtroom erupts. People are gasping. Someone yells, "Monster!" Madison's face goes red with anger. Judge Kwon bangs her gavel. "Order! I will have order or I will clear this courtroom." Madison is whispering furiously to her lawyer. Then she stands up. "She's lying. She's a liar. I never said that." Judge Kwon points at Madison. "Miss Chen, sit down now or you will be held in contempt." Madison's lawyer physically pulls her back into her chair. Ashley continues. Madison also said she was glad Sophia suffered, said she wished she could have made it last longer. The jury is done with Madison at this point. You can see it on their faces. Days 13 and 14 are the defense's case. And y'all, it's pathetic. They call a psychologist who testifies that Madison has narcissistic tendencies, but that doesn't make her a murderer. Many people have narcissistic traits. It doesn't mean they're killers. Sure, Jan. But most narcissists don't stab their former best friend 14 times. They call Madison's parents, who sob on the stand about what a good girl their daughter is. Patricia Chen. She's never been violent, never even got in trouble at school. This isn't her. This can't be her. The prosecution doesn't even bother with an aggressive cross-examination. The parents' denial speaks for itself. Finally, the defense rests. They don't call Madison to testify. Smart move, honestly. She'd have crucified herself on that stand. Day 15. Closing arguments. Prosecutor Delgado stands. "Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard the evidence. You've seen the footage. You've read Madison's own words. You've heard her admit to murder from her own cellmate's mouth. The question before you isn't whether Madison Chen killed Sophia Martinez. The evidence proves she did, beyond any shadow of doubt. The question is, will you hold her accountable? Will you give Sophia Martinez and her family the justice they deserve? Or will you let Madison Chen manipulate you the way she tried to manipulate everyone else? Sophia Martinez was 17 years old. She had dreams, plans, a future. Madison Chen took all of that away because she couldn't handle rejection. Because she's a narcissist who saw Sophia as property, not a person. Don't let her get away with murder. Find her guilty. Give Sophia justice. Thank you. Madison literally rolls her eyes. In front of the jury. Girl read the room. The defense attorney gives a half-hearted closing about reasonable doubt and mental illness and youth. Nobody's buying it. Judge Kwon gives the jury their instructions. You may now begin your deliberations. And now we wait. The jury deliberates for 2 days, which honestly feels like forever when you're waiting for justice. The media is in a frenzy. Panels of legal experts on every news channel debating the outcome. Most think it's a slam-dunk conviction. But there's always that fear, you know. That fear that somehow, someway, she'll get off. January 30th, 2025. 2:34 p.m. The jury sends a note. We have reached a verdict. Everyone rushes back to the courtroom. The gallery fills up in minutes. Madison is brought back in. And y'all, she's smiling, not nervously, not uncertainly. She's straight up grinning, confident. She whispers something to her lawyer and laughs. She genuinely thinks she's about to walk out of there a free woman. Across the aisle, Maria Martinez is praying, clutching Sophia's photo. Her husband has his arm around her. The jury files back in. Every single one of them looks serious, somber. Not one of them looks at Madison. And if you know anything about juries when they don't look at the defendant, that's a very good sign for the prosecution. Judge Kwon enters. Has the jury reached a verdict? The foreman, a middle-aged black man who's an engineer, stands. We have, Your Honor. Madison is still smiling, still so sure of herself. Girl, you have no idea what's about to happen. In the case of the People versus Madison Riley Chen, On the charge of first-degree murder, we the jury find the defendant guilty. Madison's smile shatters. Her face goes from confident to confused to horrified in the span of a second. "What?" she whispers, then louder. "What?" "No," the courtroom erupts. The Martinez family is crying, hugging each other. People are cheering until the judge demands order. Madison stands up, shouting, "This is bullshit. I'm innocent. You're all idiots. You made a mistake." Bailiffs have to physically restrain her. She's screaming, crying real tears now. But they're not tears of remorse. They're tears of rage, rage that she got caught, rage that she didn't get away with it. Judge Kwon is having none of it. "Miss Chen, you are in contempt of court. Remove her." Madison is dragged out of the courtroom, still screaming. "I hate all of you. This isn't fair. I'm 17. You can't do this to me." "Ma'am, you murdered someone. Yes, they absolutely can do this to you." Maria Martinez is crying so hard she can barely stand. But these are tears of relief, of justice. "Thank you," she keeps saying to the jury. "Thank you for seeing the truth." 2 weeks later, February 14th, Valentine's Day, sentencing day, Madison is brought back in, this time in full restraints after her last outburst. She looks different, defeated. The confidence is gone. Reality has finally set in. Judge Kwon allows victim impact statements. Maria Martinez goes first. "Sophia was my baby, my firstborn. She was kind and generous and so full of life. She volunteered at the animal shelter every weekend. She wanted to be a veterinarian. She loved her little brother and would spend hours helping him with homework. She was the best parts of me and her father, and you took her from us. For what? Because she didn't want to be your friend anymore. Because she had the audacity to have her own life. You didn't just kill Sophia. You killed our future. Every milestone she'll never reach. Every dream she'll never achieve. Every grandchild I'll never hold. You stole all of that. And you're not sorry. You've never been sorry. You're only sorry you got caught. I pray every day that somehow, someway, you'll develop a conscience. That you'll understand the magnitude of what you've done. But I don't think you're capable of that. I think you're a monster. And I hope you spend the rest of your life in prison thinking about what you did to my daughter." Maria breaks down completely. Has to be helped back to her seat. There's not a dry eye in the courtroom, except Madison's. Carlos Martinez goes next. Sophia's father. "I taught Sophia to see the good in people, to give second chances, to be kind even when others weren't kind to her. And that's what got her killed. She gave you chance after chance, Madison. She tried to let you down gently, tried to set boundaries, and you murdered her for it. I hope prison is hell for you. I really do." Finally, Miguel Martinez. Sophia's 14-year-old brother. He's clutching a piece of paper. His hands are shaking. "Sophia was my best friend. She was the best big sister anyone could ask for. She helped me with homework, drove me to soccer practice, let me hang out with her and her friends even though I was annoying. She was supposed to teach me how to drive, supposed to help me get ready for prom, supposed to be at my graduation. I don't understand why you did this. Sophia was nice to you. She was nice to everyone, and you killed her. I have nightmares every night. I can't sleep in my room anymore because it's next to Sophia's empty room. My parents cry all the time. Our house is so quiet now. You destroyed my family, and I'll never forgive you." Miguel has to be led away by his father. He's sobbing so hard he can't walk straight. That 14-year-old boy will carry this trauma for the rest of his life. Judge Kwon looks at Madison. "Miss Chen, do you have anything to say before I impose sentence?" Madison stands. She has a prepared statement, clearly written by her lawyer. "I'm sorry for the pain I've caused. I wish I could take it back. I was confused and made a terrible mistake. I hope someday the Martinez family can forgive me." But there's nothing behind the words. No emotion, no authenticity. She's just reading words on a page. Judge Kwon sees it too. "Miss Chen, in my 23 years on the bench, I have seen many defendants stand where you're standing now. Some are genuinely remorseful. Some are not. You are clearly in the latter category. You meticulously planned and executed the murder of a young woman whose only crime was setting boundaries with you. You showed no mercy to Sofia Martinez as she fought for her life. You have shown no genuine remorse since. And based on all the evidence and testimony, I believe you are a danger to society. Therefore, I am sentencing you to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 25 years. Life in prison. Madison's face crumples. She starts screaming again. No, no, that's not fair. I'm just a kid. You can't do this. Her lawyer tries to calm her, but she's inconsolable. This is bullshit. I'll appeal. I'll get out. You can't keep me here forever. Yeah, girl. They absolutely can. Madison Riley Chen was 17 when she killed Sofia Martinez. She was 18 when she was convicted. She'll be 43 before she's even eligible for parole. And honestly, even that feels too lenient. Today, Madison is serving her sentence at the Central California Women's Facility. According to reports, she's been written up multiple times for disciplinary issues, fighting with other inmates, disrespecting guards, refusing therapy. She maintains she's innocent, that she was framed, that everyone lied. She's filed multiple appeals, all denied. Her parents visit occasionally, though their visits have become less frequent. They're devastated but starting to accept that their daughter is exactly who the evidence proved her to be. The Martinez family started the Sofia Martinez Memorial Foundation. It provides scholarships to students pursuing veterinary medicine and funds anti-bullying programs in schools. Every year on Sofia's birthday, the community gathers at a memorial in Riverside Park, not where she was killed, but at her favorite spot by the lake. They release butterflies, share memories, honor her legacy. Maria Martinez speaks every year. Sofia's light was dimmed too soon, but it's not extinguished. She lives on in every act of kindness we do in her name, in every young person we help, in every moment we choose compassion over cruelty. From a psychological standpoint, this case has been studied extensively. Dr. Rebecca Martinez, the forensic psychologist, no relation, published a paper on Madison's case titled Narcissistic Violence in Adolescent Relationships. Madison Chen represents a rare but dangerous personality type, the narcissistic adolescent who views others as objects to be controlled. When that control is threatened, violence becomes a viable option in their mind. These individuals lack the empathy that prevents most people from harming others. The warning signs were all there: obsessive behavior, inability to accept rejection, stalking tendencies, violent fantasies documented in writing, lack of remorse for harmful actions, superficial charm masking manipulation. And here's the scary part: there are more people like Madison out there. Not many, thank God, but they exist. This case has sparked important conversations about recognizing dangerous obsession in relationships, taking threats seriously, even from people we know, the importance of setting and maintaining boundaries, how to support friends in unhealthy relationships. If you or someone you know is dealing with a stalker or obsessive ex-friend or partner, please reach out to the National Domestic Violence Hotline, RAINN, which stands for Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network, local law enforcement, school counselors, or mental health professionals. Don't wait. Don't make excuses for them. Get help. Sofia's legacy lives on. As of 2025, the Sofia Martinez Memorial Foundation has awarded scholarships to 43 students. Every single one of them mentions Sofia's kindness and generosity in their applications. Every single one of them is pursuing their dreams because Sofia couldn't pursue hers. Sofia Martinez was 17 years old. She was kind. She was bright. She was loved. And she deserved so much better than what Madison Chen did to her. So there it is, folks. The case of Madison Riley Chen, the teenager who smiled in court thinking she was going home, until the evidence proved otherwise. This case haunts me because Madison wasn't some hardened criminal from a broken home. She was a middle-class teenager with every advantage: good parents, good education, opportunities. But she chose violence. She chose murder because she couldn't handle rejection. And Sofia chose kindness, chose boundaries, chose to live her own life. and she paid for that choice with her life. The truth is, cases like this are rare. Most teenagers, even ones going through tough times, don't become murderers, but they're not impossible. And the warning signs are often there if we know what to look for: obsessive behavior, stalking, threats, violent fantasies, lack of empathy, inability to accept no. These aren't just drama. These aren't just being a teenager. These are red flags, and we need to take them seriously. If someone in your life is showing these signs, get help. Talk to a professional. Don't brush it off as just a phase. And if you're on the receiving end of this behavior, please set boundaries and get support. You have the right to end any relationship that makes you uncomfortable, and you deserve to be safe. All right, y'all, that's it for today's case. I know this one was heavy. It was hard to research and even harder to write about. But I think Sophia's story deserves to be told. Her family deserves for the world to know what an incredible person she was, and what was taken from them. If you made it through this whole video, thank you. Seriously, these cases aren't easy to sit through. If you appreciated this deep dive, please hit that subscribe button. Click the notification bell so you don't miss future episodes. And drop a like if you found this informative. Leave a comment letting me know what you think. What other cases would you like me to cover? And be respectful, please. This is a real family going through real trauma. If you want to support the channel and get early access to videos, behind-the-scenes content, and exclusive case files, consider joining our Patreon or becoming a channel member. Links in the description. Next week, we're covering the case of Angela Morrison, the woman who poisoned her entire book club because one of them gave her novel a bad review. Yeah, you heard that right. A book club murder. It's as wild as it sounds. Until then, remember, be kind to each other, set boundaries, and never ever ignore red flags. Rest in peace, Sophia Martinez. You deserved better. I'm your host, and this has been Women of Crime. Stay safe out there, y'all. In memory of Sophia Martinez, 2006 to 2024. Hey, before you go, just wanted to add a few thoughts. This case really got to me because Sophia did everything right. She set boundaries. She was kind but firm. She tried to end the friendship in the most gentle way possible, and it still wasn't enough. That's not meant to scare you. It's meant to remind you that sometimes, no matter what you do, you can't control how someone else reacts. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't set boundaries. It means those boundaries need to be backed up by support systems. Tell people what you're going through. Document threats. Involve authorities if necessary. Sophia's family has said multiple times that they wish Sophia had told them how bad Madison's behavior had gotten. They wish they'd taken those threatening texts to the police. Hindsight is 2020, but hopefully Sophia's story can help someone else recognize the danger before it's too late. All right, that's really it this time. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves and each other. Peace.